Hi everyone, it's Cara Whedbee, your favorite PescaVeniVegan for Meatless Monday. It snowed here in Texas, which is very rare. That doesn't happen a lot. So we had a snow day today, no school. So it's cold and we're gonna make a soup. So today's menu is creamy vegan corn chowder, and I got it off of my favorite app, the All Recipes Dinner Spinner app. Now, I have read the comments on this one, and we're going to change a bunch of stuff. So hang with me, but I'll put the original recipe in the link below. We are not going to cook this on a stove. We're going to cook this in the Instapot. So the vegetables are going to cook that way. They're not going to cook on the stove. So it should save us some time. So it calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil so that you can cook onion and celery and carrots in, and we're not going to do that. I've pre-chopped them and I'm just going to put them in here, and we're going to do it via the Instapot. So the other thing that I'm adding is potatoes. So this is a creamy vegan chowder. We're not going to use obviously cream. I'll probably use some vegan half and half, but the way to make it creamy when you're vegan is potatoes. So you put them in there and then you can mash them when you're done to the consistency you prefer. So people like to blend it. That's not really me. I feel like a chowder should be chunky, so I just use a potato masher. We'll get to that when we're done cooking. So first, it calls for 1 small onion chopped. So I normally like to use my frozen onion, but I don't have that right now, so we're gonna use minced onion. And 3 tablespoons of minced onion equals 1 small onion chopped. So 1, 2, 3. There's our onion. And then it says 1 cup celery chopped. So I have pre-chopped some organic celery. And it's right here. Of course, the potatoes are on top of it. You know what? We're gonna put the potatoes in first. All right, I've pre-chopped 6 organic yellow potatoes. You could use red potatoes. You could use whatever potatoes you have on hand. If you don't have potatoes, you could use the dehydrated hash browns. That would work too. It's just to thicken it and make it a little bit more creamy looking. As a vegan, this is one of our options. So, getting my 6 chopped up potatoes in here. And again, this is up to you how many you want, but I read in the comments 6, so that's what we got going on. And these are little ones. These are not big, like russet potatoes. We're talking about smaller gold potatoes. All right, so that's 6 potatoes, and we've got them all chopped up, and we're gonna put that in there to make it extra creamy. The final result of our vegan corn chowder. All right, so I've gotten all the potatoes. They're kind of mixed in with some of my other vegetables here. All right, next is the celery. So it's a cup of chopped celery. I always use organic vegetables, so this is organic chopped celery. And then it also calls for a cup of chopped carrots. These are already peeled organic baby carrots that I chopped up. A cup of those as well. So now we've got our veggies in there. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Then it calls for a clove of garlic. Now, there's another recipe on here for a vegan corn chowder that calls for more garlic. So you know me, we're gonna use more. So the other recipe actually calls for a full teaspoon, which would be 8 cloves. So a full teaspoon of dried garlic powder. So that's what we're gonna use. We want the good amount of garlic. All right, and then it says 2½ cups water and then 2 cubes of vegetable bouillon. We're not using bouillon, we're just gonna use the vegetable stock. Cut out the middleman here, so 2½ cups of veggie stock. It's gonna go in there as well. Where's my cup? Here it is. 1, 2, don't quite have 2, so what I'm going to do is fill it up with water. And then we'll need a half, so I'll just do a little bit more water. All right, so there's our 2½ cups. of stock, and then it calls for 2 cups corn. Again, in the comments below, it says that's not enough. 2 cups, so they doubled that. So basically a can of corn is 2 cups. So we're gonna use 2 cans drained. So drain the corn first. They just said it wasn't enough corn flavor for a corn chowder with, you know, just 2 cups. So, and if you have frozen corn on hand, you can use that as well. So instead of 2 cups, we're using about 4. Then it says 2 cups soy milk. We're not gonna, and then a tablespoon flour. We're not gonna do that. We've used our potatoes. And then when this is done cooking, we'll add in a couple of cups of vegan half and half. So we'll do that later. We're not gonna do that while it's cooking. Then it was 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. So I've got my organic dried parsley from Natural Grocers here. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of this. We already did our garlic powder. One teaspoon dried parsley, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon pepper. So 1 teaspoon each of salt and pepper, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. So one teaspoon pepper and 1 teaspoon sea salt. Okay, now that I've got all that in there, I'm gonna add something else. This is nutritional yeast. I like to add it. It kind of gives a flavor of cheese, a little bit of Parmesan actually, but it also gives you more nutrition value. So add that in there as well. And probably a couple tablespoons. And if I need some more at the end, so I'm going to keep it here and add it in later in case I want some more. So I'm going to stir that around just for a second here. Mix up the spices. Okay, then we're going to set our Instant Pot. We got to have the lid as sealed, and then close it. So musical. And I'm going to move it up so when it starts venting, it's not getting on that. And then we're going to choose soup broth. And I'm going to, it says 30 minutes. I don't think it needs that long, so I'm going to go down to 20 minutes. All right, so when it's done and we add the other stuff, I will come back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, 20 minutes was perfect. Every vegetable that I have in here is soft now, and including the potatoes. I just used my potato masher here and mashed what's in here to the consistency I wanted. And so now I'm gonna add in my Silk dairy-free half and half vegan half and half. So it was calling for 2 cups of milk and then using flour. It's just easier to do this. So 1, 2. You've got vegan half and half. This is the best stuff for you to use. Just easier than having to make your own thickening agent. And the potatoes help with that too. It's on the keep warm function here, and then I want to show you what it looks like. Okay everyone, our vegan corn chowder in the Instant Pot is done. Nummy nummy, see how nice and smooth it is just by using the potato masher. And creamy, looks like a creamy corn chowder to me. So dinner is served. Happy Meatless Monday.